Hello friends, welcome to all of you. Friends, Kapil Dev ji is the greatest cricketer of India till date. As per the statement of great Sunil Gavaskar ji, the contribution of Kapil Dev ji towards Indian cricket is much more than that of Sachin Tendulkar, MS Dhoni, Rahul Dravid and Sunil Gavaskar himself. Friends, in this video, I will discuss about a technical mistake made by Kapil Dev ji, which he kept doing throughout his career. I personally believe that if he had not made that mistake, he would have had more than 750 wickets in Test cricket instead of 434 wickets. Friends, the purpose of making this video is not to insult anyone. Its only purpose is that the upcoming players should not make the same mistake that great Kapil Dev ji made. So, friends, let us start. Friends, once I saw that Kapil Dev ji was telling in an interview on television that he bowled in tailwind conditions throughout his career. That is, he bowled in the direction in which wind is blowing. He further told that when we bowl in the direction of wind, the ball speed increases, and when we bowl against the wind, the ball speed decreases. Like when we ride a bicycle in the direction of wind, the speed of bicycle increases, and when we ride the bicycle opposite to wind direction, the speed of bicycle decreases. Similarly, when we bowl in direction of wind, the speed of ball increases, and when we bowl against the wind, the speed of ball decreases. Kapil Dev ji further told that there is a saying in cricket world that higher the speed, higher will be the swing. That is, higher the speed of the bowler, higher he will get the swing. Kapil Dev ji told that bowlers prefer to bowling in direction of wind to get more speed, hence to get more swing. Kapil Dev ji told that the best bowler of the team, that is number one bowler of the team or the one who bowls the fastest ball, always bowl in direction of wind. The purpose behind this is that the bowling captain always prefer to get maximum wickets as early as possible. Therefore, he gives his best bowler, his fastest bowler to bowl in direction of wind so that he could get maximum benefit of wind's atmosphere and could provide the team maximum wickets as early as possible. Kapil Dev ji further told that as he remained number one bowler of India throughout his career, therefore he always bowled in direction of wind, that is in tailwind conditions. He never bowled against the wind. He had no experience at all to bowl against the wind. But Kapil Dev ji told that during the 91-92 Australia tour, when Mohammad Azharuddin was the captain of the team, he was asked to bowl against the wind for the first time. According to Kapil Dev ji, this happened because at that time Manoj Prabhakar had become the number one bowler of the team and Kapil Dev had become the number two bowler of the team. Giving the reason for this, Kapil Dev ji told that in the 2-3 series before that series, Kapil Dev ji was not able to give his best and was continuously flopping. And on the other hand, Manoj Prabhakar ji was giving good performance and hence become the number one bowler of the team. Friends, here I would like to tell you that by making Kapil Dev ji bowling against the wind, Azharuddin declared without saying anything that Kapil Dev ji is no longer India's number one bowler. Friends, Kapil Dev ji further told that he accepted it as a challenge and after a couple of overs bowling against the wind, he regained his rhythm back and in that series he took around 26-27 wickets, which was a very good performance, and particularly when Kapil Dev ji was not able to give his best bowling in last 2-3 series and was continuously flopping. continuously failing. Friends, now here I would like to tell you that this good performance was not only due to Kapil Dev's getting rhythm back, but the reason for this was that when he bowled in the opposite direction of the wind, he got extra swing, due to which he succeeded in taking more wickets. Friends, here I would like to tell you that this belief of cricketers that higher the speed, higher the swing doesn't prove true in all situations, especially when we bowl in direction of wind. Or in other words, we can say that if we bowl in direction of wind, then we get less swing for same speed. There are three main technical reasons due to which if we bowl in direction of wind, then we get less swing. In this video, I will explain one by one the three reasons in full detail due to which bowling in the direction of wind leads to less swing, and due to which Kapil Dev ji always suffered losses while bowling in direction of wind throughout his career. Before I start telling those three reasons, I think it is important to introduce myself. Friends, by profession, I am a commercial pilot. In 1998, I completed my flying training for commercial pilot license, but due to corruption in India, I was not given the pilot license. After this, I filed a case in Punjab and Haryana High Court in Chandigarh. During the pendency of the case, I myself became a lawyer in 2007 and started practicing in Chandigarh in 2018 after a long legal battle of almost 24 years, and after passing all the technical papers for commercial pilot license 5 times, I was given a commercial pilot license in 2018. Due to overage, I could not get job as a pilot in any airline. I have filed a case in civil courts for compensation amounting to rupees 100 crore, which is still pending. If you search Lakhbir Singh pilot on Google, you will get information about my life. So friends, you can say that I am a failure, and there is a saying that a failure person can tell you a lot which a successful person cannot explain. So friends, let's come back on cricket. Friends, here I would like to tell you that after leaving the bowler's hand, the same science applies to the cricket ball as applies to an aircraft flying in air. So in this video, I will tell you about the effects of science on cricket ball, which even great players like Kapil Dev ji are not aware of. So friends, let's start. Friends, first of all, I will prove the saying higher the speed, higher the swing as wrong. Because of this saying that cricketers got misunderstood. As soon as this saying is proven wrong, the first technical factor will also become clear. Friends, in this proverb, it is not clearly told which speed is being talked about. Ground speed of the ball, relative speed, or true air speed. Friends, first we will prove this saying wrong at higher speed. That is, first I will show that no matter how much you increase the speed of the ball will not swing at all. After this, I will prove this saying wrong on zero speed. That is, when ball has no speed at all, then the ball will swing despite of that. So friends, let's start. Friends, if you search on Google whether a cricket ball bowled by a fast bowler at high speed will swing more or less in vacuum, then Google will tell you that a cricket ball will not swing at all in vacuum. Friends, those who are not from science background, I would like to tell them that the place where there is no air at all is called vacuum space. Here I would like to tell you that with the help of a vacuum pump, you can create a vacuum by pulling out the air from any indoor stadium, any room, or any hall. If you bowl at high speed with the help of a bowling machine in such a vacuumed indoor stadium or any vacuum room or hall, then you will find that your ball is not swinging at all. You can increase the speed of the ball as much as you want, but you will find that in vacuum the ball doesn't swing at all. This way we see that at higher end, that is at highest speed, this saying of cricket word that higher the speed and higher the swing is proved wrong. Friends, now we will prove this saying wrong at lower end, that is when speed of the ball is absolutely zero, that is when it is lying on ground or it is in stationary position on ground. Friends, put the cricket ball on ground and then with the help of a pressure air nozzle blow air on the ball at high speed. Keep increasing the speed of the air gradually. You will see that when the air hits the cricket ball at the speed around 127 128 km per hour, the ball will start moving from its place. In this way, we will see that when the speed of the cricket ball was absolutely zero, it moved from its place. That is, it started swinging. In this way, we see that at lower end, that is when the speed of the ball was absolutely zero, this saying of cricket word that higher the speed higher the swing is proved wrong, as it is swinging at zero speed. So friends, it is clear from these experiments that the amount of swing is directly proportional to the amount of air in contact with the ball. If we somehow increase the amount of air coming in contact with the cricket ball, then the ball will swing more, and if we reduce the amount of air coming in contact with the ball, then the ball will swing less. So friends, this is the first disadvantage of bowling in direction of wind. If we bowl in the direction of wind, the amount of air coming in contact with the ball reduces, due to which the ball swings less. You can feel this fact physically. Friends, when we run or jog in direction of wind, less air particles strike our body, which causes less cooling of our body. Therefore, we sweat more and feel more hot. On the contrary, if we run or jog in the opposite direction of the wind, we sweat less. And if it is winter season, then you feel more cold. The reason for this is that when we run or jog in opposite direction of the wind, more air particles hit our body, which have more cooling effect on our body, due to which we sweat less or we start feeling cold. So it becomes clear that if we bowl against the wind, the amount of air coming in contact with the ball increases and the ball swing more. On the contrary, if we bowl in direction of wind, that is in tailwind conditions, the amount of air coming in contact with the ball decreases and the ball swing less. Friends, thus we can say here that Kapil Dev ji always kept bowling in direction of wind, that is in tailwind conditions, and kept suffering losses due to less swing. So friends, the first factor for increasing the swing of cricket ball is to increase the amount of air or amount of air particles in contact with cricket ball, which can be obtained by bowling against the wind or in headwind conditions. Now friends, we will discuss about the second factor. The second factor is the time factor. The another disadvantage of bowling in the direction of wind is that it takes less time for cricket ball to travel from the bowler's hand to the batsman. For example, let us assume when a bowler bowls against the wind, suppose the ball takes 1 second to reach the batsman, and if the same bowler bowls in the direction of wind, it takes 0.9 seconds. In this way, due to less time taken while bowling in the direction of wind, the reaction or friction between ball and air lasts for a short time, short duration, which gives less swing. On the contrary, if we bowl in the direction opposite to the wind, then the ball takes more time to reach the batsman, due to which the reaction or friction between the ball and air lasts for a longer duration, which gives more swing. The time factor also has a second effect on the ball. When a bowler bowls against the wind, the ball gets exposure to the air for a longer time, due to which more particles of air strike the ball, due to which the ball gets higher diet of air, which helps the ball to swing more. You can understand this effect in this way, that if you are given only 2 minutes to eat, then you will eat less and will remain hungry and will work less. And if you are given 10 minutes, then you will eat more food to your stomach and will work more. Similarly, if a cricket ball remains in contact with air for a longer time, then more air particles will strike the ball and ball will swing more. Here I am reminded of an incident of Kapil Dev ji. It is said that Kapil Dev ji asked for extra diet during a match in early days of his career and said that since he is a fast bowler, he needs more diet, but the concerned officer refused to give extra diet to Kapil Dev ji and said that there are no fast bowlers in India. Here I would like to say that at that time Kapil Dev ji should have been told by his instructors or coach that just like his body needs extra diet for fast bowling, in the same way his ball also needs extra diet of air for more swing. But perhaps his coach and instructors were also not aware of this fact. Well, whatever has happened now. Tell all the youngsters about this fact so that today's youngsters don't make this mistake that Kapil Dev ji had made. Friends, here I remember another effect related to time factor. Friends, we often see that many times a bowler's ball starts swinging after crossing the batsman and the stumps. This often happens with those bowlers who bowl at a speed of 150 or faster, like Dale Steyn of South Africa. Many times the conditions were such that his ball used to swing after crossing the batsman and the stumps. Friends, in such a situation, when the bowler's ball continuously swings after crossing the batsman and the stumps, and he is bowling in the direction of wind, then he should start bowling from other end, that is in opposite direction of the wind. The impact of this will be that he will get more swing than before and his ball will start swinging before it reaches the batsman. Although this will cause a slight decrease in the speed of the bowler shown by the speed gun on the TV screen after the ball, but the bowler should ignore it. The first advantage of this decrease in speed gun reading will be that the force due to inertia will decrease. Due to this, the effect of the swing which was visible after crossing the batsman and the stumps will start appearing earlier. I say again, due to this, the effect of swing which was visible after crossing the batsman and the stumps will start appearing earlier. And its second advantage will be that when bowling against the wind, you will get extra swing which will show its effect before crossing the batsman. Friends, here I would like to ask a question to all cricketers, especially to all the medium fast bowlers. Friends, a cricket ball is having two seams. One of these is the prime seam, which moves around 360 degree around the ball. Apart from this, there are two minor seams on both sides of the cricket ball, which covers 180 degree and are at 90 degrees to each other. So my question is, what should be the position of minor seam while bowling outswing and inswing to a right hand batsman with a new and old ball? Friends, I feel that even the big swing bowlers do not have the answer to this question. I feel this way because I have never seen any bowler talking about the position of this minor seam. The second reason for this is that during ball tampering, the bowling team completely tampers one side, whereas this is not required. Tampering only 15 to 20% of one side can do the job. The third reason for this is that big players like Warner and Smith of Australia tempered the cricket ball with the help of external material, whereas it is not required. The 15 to 20% portion of one side of the ball can be tempered easily with the finger next to the thumb of the hand without getting caught by the camera. So due to all these reasons, I feel that the players do not know what should be the position of minor seam for outswing and in-swing bowling respectively to the right hand batsman. Friends, I request all of you to write in comment box your answer and tell me what should be the position of the minor seam for outswing and in-swing bowling to the right hand batsman. Friends, I will make a video on this topic separately within few days or within few weeks. Friends, now we will talk about the third factor. The third factor is speed. Friends, speed is the factor which Kapil Dev ji failed to understand and made the biggest mistake of his career. Friends, Kapil Dev ji was thinking of taking advantage while bowling in the direction of wind, but in reality he was suffering the equal amount of loss. If Kapil Dev ji thought that he was making a profit of 10 units, then in reality he was making a loss of 10 units on that day, and at the end of the day there was a loss of 20 units in the balance sheet. Friends, there are lot of similarities between takeoff of an aeroplane and to swing the cricket ball in air. The first similarity is that the shape of runway used by aeroplane for takeoff is similar to shape of cricket pitch, that is both are rectangular in shape. The cricket pitch is decorated by wickets and crease markings, whereas the runway is decorated by runway markings. Second similarity, the an aeroplane can start takeoff run from both sides keeping wind direction in mind. To become a pilot, it is necessary that he not only understands the importance of wind direction and speed, but also has the knowledge of calculation, etc. In this context, he has to pass papers of navigation and technical subjects also. Similarly, in cricket, the bowler can also bowl from both ends of the cricket pitch. Knowledge of wind direction and wind speed is as important for swinging a cricket ball as it is for aircraft to take off and land on runway. But there is no need for cricketers to study subjects like navigation or technical or to pass any paper in this subject. Cricketers do not know the importance of wind direction and wind speed and its effect for swinging a cricket ball, and they have to suffer because of this. If Kapil Dev ji had all this knowledge, he would have taken more than 750 or even 1000 wickets in test cricket. Cricketers may not understand the loss suffered by Kapil Dev ji in words, so I would like to show them a photograph which will make them realize the importance of wind direction and wind speed and the loss suffered by Kapil Dev ji. Now you are watching a photograph on your screen which shows the flying paths of an aircraft flown by two different pilots on two different times. You can say that first pilot of aircraft used proper instrument skills and take off in correct direction with respect to wind direction and speed, due to which it separated from the runway quickly and reached a greater height in less time. On the other hand, the second pilot didn't use its instruments and skills properly and didn't take off in right direction with respect to wind direction and speed, due to which it had to roll for a longer time on the runway before takeoff, and he could not even reach half the height of first aircraft. I hereby want to point out that first pilot got takeoff in headwind conditions, that is against the wind, whereas the second pilot got takeoff at the in tailwind conditions, that in same direction in which wind is blowing. Here you can compare the performance of these two aircrafts in simple words with the performance of great Kapil Dev ji in test cricket. The performance of second pilot who didn't use instruments and skill properly and took off in wrong direction and hardly reached a height of 50 feet, you can take it as the actual performance of great Kapil Dev ji in test cricket. The performance of second pilot can be taken as the actual performance of Kapil Dev ji in test cricket. You can say that Kapil Dev ji didn't use his skill, his talent and his power in the right direction. Therefore, he got only 434 wickets in test cricket. If Kapil Dev ji had used his talent, his power and skill in right direction, then he could have taken more than 1000 wickets, because during his time he had no competitors in the Indian team. The entire burden of fast bowling was completely on Kapil Dev ji's shoulders. It is said that he was made to bowl longer spells of 15 hours, 20 hours regularly. It is said that once in Australia, despite injury in his leg, he took painkillers and injections. He bowled continuously from one end and got Australia all out to make India win the match. If such a passion is kept in mind, Kapil Dev ji could have taken even 1500 wickets, because many times in the matches which India lost by 6-7 wickets, Kapil Dev ji could have exposed tail enders by taking one or two more wickets, which could not only give him extra wickets of tail enders but could have also helped India win many close matches. The quantum or gravity of losses suffered by Kapil Dev ji could be observed with the help of photograph shown on your screen. The one aircraft which is taking off in wrong direction is not able to achieve height equal to half of other aircraft which is taking off in correct direction, that is against the wind. Similarly, we can say that Kapil Dev ji could not justify it with his talent and could only obtain 434 wickets instead of more than 750 or 1000 wickets in test cricket. Kapil Dev ji told in his interview that if we bowl in the direction in which wind is blowing, then the speed of the ball increases and we get more swing. Friends, the speed that Kapil Dev ji was talking about is the same speed that is shown on the TV screen with the help of a speed gun during the match, and this speed is called ground speed. In general language, speed and ground speed are the same things. The formula to calculate speed and ground speed is distance covered on ground divided by time taken. Friends, the swing of cricket ball doesn't depend on ground speed. Kapil Dev ji made a mistake here. He thought that the ball will swing more if the ground speed is high. While this is not the case, I would like to tell you here that the swing of cricket ball depends on the relative velocity or relative speed between the ball and the air and not on the ground speed. To swing a cricket ball, it is necessary to have relative speed between cricket ball and air at least 126 or 127 kilometer per hour, or you can say the relative speed between cricket ball and air should be more than 127 kilometers per hour. And instead of the cricket word saying higher the speed, higher the swing, it should be higher the relative speed, higher the swing. That is why I think it is important for every cricketer to know the difference between ground speed and the relative speed. Here I would like to add that if a cricketer, specifically a fast bowler, if he do not know the difference between ground speed and relative speed, then he is not a complete cricketer or he is not a complete bowler, and he will suffer like Kapil Dev ji suffered during his whole career. Here I would first like to tell you the method of calculating the relative speed between the two objects, which I think every cricketer should know whether he has ever gone to school or not. Friends, it is very easy to calculate the relative speed between two objects. To calculate the relative speed between two objects, at least one of the two objects must be in moving condition. If two objects move in opposite direction to each other, if two objects move in opposite direction to each other, then the number obtained by adding their velocities will be the relative speed of both the objects. I say again, if two objects move in opposite direction to each other, then the number obtained by adding the speed of both objects will be the relative speed of both the objects. And second case, if two objects move in same direction, then the difference in speed of both the objects will be the relative speed of both the objects. Friends, here I would like to give an example of takeoff speed of an airplane to clear the concept of relative speed, because the same concept will apply to swinging a cricket ball. Friends, suppose the takeoff speed of an aircraft is 125 km per hour. Here I have taken the speed of 125 km per hour because even a cricket ball starts swinging at a speed of about 125 km per hour. Friends, the takeoff speed of an aircraft is the minimum speed at which the aircraft easily and safely becomes airborne. That is, tires of aircrafts get separate from the runway and can easily clear the obstacles coming in its way, like any hill, any building, etc. Friends, as soon as the aircraft starts rolling on the runway, low pressure creates on the upper surface of the aircraft, on the upper surface of the wings, and high pressure on the lower surface of the wings, due to which a force starts acting from high pressure to low pressure, that is in upward direction. This force is called lift. Till the time the aircraft doesn't achieve its takeoff speed, the upward force, that is lift, is not sufficient to lift the weight of aircraft and its passengers, and the aircraft keeps rolling on the ground. But as soon as the speed of aircraft becomes equal to takeoff speed, the wheels of the aircraft starts lifting from the runway and the aircraft becomes airborne and starts climbing. Similarly, when a cricket ball moves in atmosphere, pressure difference is created on both sides of the cricket ball, which creates a force on the ball. But this force is very little at but this force is very little at low relative speeds. That is, if relative speed between air and ball is less than 125 kilometer per hour, this force is not sufficient to swing the ball. As soon as the relative speed between cricket ball and air becomes more than 125 kilometer per hour, it starts swinging. When the relative speed increases more than 125 km per hour, the cricket ball starts swinging. Higher the relative speed between cricket ball and air, higher will be the swing of cricket ball. Now, how to calculate or achieve the relative speed required for takeoff of an aircraft is very important, and it is very important and necessary for all cricketers to understand this, because the same concept will apply to cricket ball as well for its swinging. As I assumed our aircraft takeoff speed is 125 km per hour. This speed is relative speed between aircraft and the air. There are three conditions under which the relative speed between aircraft and air is required to be calculated. Every cricketer must know how to calculate relative speed under these three conditions, as it will be applicable to their cricket ball while swing of the cricket ball. Now, case 1. Case 1 is when aircraft take off in opposite direction to wind. First case is aircraft will take off in opposite direction to wind. Now, suppose the wind speed is 25 km per hour and this is ground speed of air. Assume the aircraft is take off in opposite direction to wind. As stated earlier, the relative speed between two objects moving in opposite direction to each other is obtained by adding their speeds. Therefore, relative speeds between air and aircraft when aircraft is taking off in opposite direction to wind will be equal to sum of ground speed of air and that of aircraft, and this sum should be equal to or more than 125 km per hour to achieve takeoff speed. In this case, speed of air is 25 km per hour, which is fixed, and when aeroplane achieves speed of 100 km per hour, the relative speed between aeroplane and air will become 125. That is 100 plus 25 equal to 125 km per hour, and the aircraft will get separated from the runway as 125 km per hour is takeoff speed of the aeroplane. Kindly all cricketers notice that here ground speed of aircraft is just 100 km per hour, but by getting the benefit of wind, speed, its relative speed has become 125 km per hour and has achieved required takeoff speed of 125 km per hour. Here, the advantage of taking off the aircraft in opposite direction to wind was that the aircraft had to increase its ground speed from 0 to 100 only, for which it needed a short runway, and it quickly left the ground and started flying in the air. Here I want to tell you that as in a car, speedometer is fixed to show the speed of car in kilometer per hour, which shows the ground speed of car. Similarly, in aircrafts, airspeed indicator is installed to indicate the relative speed of aircraft with respect to air. I say again, in a car, speedometer is fixed to show the speed of car in kilometer per hour. Similarly, in aircrafts, instead of speedometer, in aircraft, airspeed indicator is fixed to indicate relative speed of aircraft with respect to air. The speed shown by speedometer of car is ground speed of car, whereas the speed shown by airspeed indicator of aircraft is relative speed of aircraft with respect to air. In this situation, if a car driven parallel to aircraft at same speed, then at the time of takeoff, of airplane, the speedometer of car will read 100 kilometer per hour, whereas the airspeed indicator of the aeroplane will read as 125 kilometer per hour. Kindly all cricketers notice that here ground speed of aircraft is just 100 kilometer per hour, but by getting the benefit of wind speed, its relative speed has become 125 kilometer per hour. Here, I would like to tell all the cricketers that if the relative speed between the cricket ball and air is more than 125 kilometer per hour, then the ball gets starts swinging. In such a situation, if the wind speed is 25 kilometer per hour and the bowler can bowl the ball at a speed of more than 100 kilometer per hour, then in such a situation the bowler can swing the ball. Friends, now the question arises whether the spinner can also do swing bowling. The answer is yes, spinners can also do swing bowling. India's great leg spinner Anil Kumble used to bowl at speed of 120-125 km per hour. The speed of his ball was so high that if he beat the batsman, the wicket keeper used to get either the ball or the stumps in his gloves. If a bowler like Anil Kumble bowls in opposite direction to wind and the sum of his bowling speed and wind speed is more than 125 km per hour, then the spinner can also do swing bowling easily. But for this, he will have to keep the proper seam position, wrist position, etc. Here, I would like to point out the amazing performance of previous Indian captain Sourav Ganguly as a bowler in Toronto Cup against Pakistan. His bowling speed is almost equal to Anil Kumble, but he considered himself as a medium pacer, part-time medium pacer. As Sourav Ganguly considered himself as a part-time bowler, I am under impression that during Toronto Cup against Pakistan, he bowled against the wind because from other side, frontline bowlers must have been used. As stated earlier, as per the statement of Kapil Devji, best fast bowlers used to bowl in the direction of wind and other part-time bowlers used to bowl against the wind. Now, let us assume bowling speed of Sourav Ganguly is as 125 km per hour and wind speeds in Toronto generally remains from 15 km per hour to 20 km per hour in the month of September when Toronto Cup happened in organized in Canada. Now let us assume wind speed is 15 km per hour. Then the relative speed of ball bowled by Sourav Ganguly is equal to 125 plus 15, that is equal to 140 km per hour, which is well above the required 125 km per hour, and he got the swing significantly. Therefore, we can say that a spin bowler can also get swing in air if he bowls against the wind and his bowling speed is such that sum of bowling speed and wind speed is more than 125 km per hour and his wrist position and grip on the cricket ball should be like a swing bowler, like a fast bowler. In such conditions where wind speed is 25 km per hour, if a natural swing bowler like Kapil Dev, Bhuvneshwar Kumar, who bowls at 140 km per hour, if they bowl against the wind, then the relative speed of their bowling will become 140 plus 25, means 140 plus 25 equal to 165 km per hour against the required 125 km per hour, and their ball will swing alarmingly, which would be unplayable, and the bowler will get more success as Kapil Dev got in series against Australia in year 91-92. Now second case. In second case, the aircraft is required to take off in tailwind conditions. That is, the aircraft is to take off in same direction in which wind is blowing. So start. Suppose the wind speed is same 25 kilometer per hour and takeoff speed is again same 125 kilometer per hour. Assume the aircraft is to take off in tailwind condition, that is in same direction in which wind is blowing. Then the direction of movement of aircraft and air will be same. As stated earlier, the relative speed between two objects moving in same direction, then the relative speed is equal to the difference of their speeds. In such a case, the relative speed between aircraft and air is obtained by subtracting the speed of air from the speed of aircraft, and this difference should be equal to 125 km per hour to achieve the takeoff speed of aircraft. Now suppose a aircraft is rolling on runway at a speed of 100 km per hour. That is, ground speed of aircraft is just 100 km per hour and speed of air is 25 km per hour. Then the relative speed between aircraft and air will be 100 minus 25, that is equal to 75 km per hour, which is not sufficient for takeoff of aircraft, as the takeoff speed of aircraft is 125 km per hour. Now suppose aircraft is rolling on runway at speed of 125 km per hour. That is, ground speed of aircraft is 125 km per hour and speed of air is 25 km per hour, and aircraft is moving in same direction of wind. Then the relative speed between aircraft and air will be 125 minus 25 equal to 100 km per hour, which is not sufficient for takeoff of aircraft, as the takeoff speed of aircraft is 125 km per hour. Now suppose aircraft is rolling on runway at speed of 150 km per hour. That is, ground speed of aircraft has increased to 150 km per hour and speed of air is same 25 km per hour. Then the relative speed between aircraft and air will be 150 minus 25 equal to 125 km per hour, which is just about sufficient to take off of aircraft, as takeoff speed is 125 km per hour. Kindly all cricketers notice here that ground speed of aircraft is 150 km per hour, but by getting the negative benefit of wind speed, its relative speed has become just 125 km per hour and just achieved the required takeoff speed. Here negative benefit means loss. Now kindly all cricketers notice here that while taking off in same direction of wind, the aircraft had to increase its ground speed from 0 to 150 km per hour, for which it needed a longer runway, and it left the ground after covering long distance. More power generated, more wear and tear of tire and undercarriage, difficulty in clearing obstacles like mountains, building, etc. are other losses while taking off in same direction as in wind blowing. All cricketers kindly note here that when the same aeroplane is moving against the wind of 25 km per hour, it achieved the required takeoff speed at a speed of just 100 km per hour. But now when the same aircraft is moving in same direction of wind, then the takeoff speed is obtained at a ground speed of 150 km per hour, for which aircraft had to run longer distance and faced more wear and tear. Similarly, in cricket, a fast bowler will achieve the requisite relative speed of 125 km per hour at a speed of 100 km per hour when he bowls against the wind. But when the same bowler bowls in direction of wind, then he has to generate speed of 150 km per hour to achieve the requisite relative speed of 125 km per hour for swinging the ball. and for doing the same the bowler will face injury threats as he has to input a lot of power. Cricketers must notice here that the bowlers who generate less pace than 150 km per hour in such conditions will not be able to get any swing if they bowl in direction of wind. I say again, the bowlers who generate less pace than 150 km per hour will not get any swing in such situation, because 140 minus 25 will be less than 125, the requisite speed for swinging of the cricket ball. That's why medium pacers bowler like that's why medium pacers should never bowl in direction of wind. For example, if a bowler bowls at a speed of 145 km per hour in the direction of wind and wind speed is 25 km per hour, then the relative speed of his ball will be 145 minus 25 equal to 120 km per hour, which is not sufficient to swing the cricket ball, as minimum speed required for swinging the cricket ball is 125 km per hour. In such situation, the ball will come on bat easily without any swing and the batsman will hit the ball for boundaries at will. Now, on the other end, suppose Roger Binney, whose ground speed is 130 km per hour, bowls in opposite direction to wind. So his relative speed will become 130 plus 25 equal to 155 km per hour. This ball of Roger Binney will swing very well because the relative speed is much more than 125. Thus we see that despite being more capable, Kapil Devji could get less swing than Roger Binney, because Kapil Devji was bowling in the direction of wind. Cricketers must notice here that higher the speed of the wind, higher will be the loss in getting swing by bowling in direction of wind. Friends, in countries like New Zealand, West Indies, Australia, England, the wind speed is very high. There, the wind normally blows at a speed of 20 km per hour to 30 km per hour. And in India, although it is low, but in coastal region like Mumbai, Calcutta, Madras, near sea, the wind speed again is very high, from 20 km per hour to 30 km per hour. So cricketers, while bowling in Australia, England, West Indies, New Zealand, they should bowl against the wind, because or in coastal region they should bowl against the wind. In the third case, now we will discuss the third case. The third case is when the aircraft is required to take off in nil wind conditions. That is, when there is no wind speed at all, the wind speed is 0. In such a situation, when wind speed is absolutely 0, then there will be no advantage from the wind. You can say neither advantage no loss from the wind. In such a situation, when wind speed is absolutely 0, then ground speed and relative speed of aircraft remain same. In such a situation, when wind speed is 0, the aircraft is required to achieve ground speed of 125 km per hour to get relative speed of 125 km per hour, as contribution of wind is 0. That is, 125 plus 0 become 125. Similarly, the ground speed and relative speed of cricket ball also remain same in nil wind conditions. In nil wind conditions, only those bowlers will be able to get swing whose bowling speed is more than 125 km per hour. As stated earlier, in nil wind conditions, ground speed and relative speed of cricket ball remains same. Therefore, there is no role of relative speed in nil wind conditions, and we can say the saying of cricket word that higher the speed, higher the swing is applicable in nil wind conditions. I say again that in nil wind conditions, the saying of cricket word that higher the speed, higher the swing is true. Therefore, we can say that in nil wind conditions, Kapil Dev ji suffered no loss. But such situations happens very rarely. Thumb rule, thumb rule for cricketers. When a bowler bowls against the wind, then the sum of speed of bowler and wind should be more than 125 kilometer per hour to get the swing in air, and higher the result, higher will be the swing. And when a bowler bowls in the direction of wind, then speed of wind should be subtracted from the speed of the bowler, and the result should be more than 125 to get swing in the air. Friends, now I will tell you how one can see the effect of wind speed and wind direction on the swing of cricket ball with naked eye. How one can see the effect of wind speed and wind direction on the swing of cricket ball with the naked eye. Friends, you must have seen the windmill toy which starts rotating due to effect of wind. The higher the speed of the wind, the faster it rotates. In such a situation, if we start walking in opposite direction to the wind, then the speed of rotation of this toy also increases. And if we increase our speed while walking in opposite direction of the wind, then speed of rotation of the toy also increases. And if we further increase our speed and start running, then the speed of rotation of this toy also increases. That is, revolution per minute of this toy further increases. This shows that if we walk or run in opposite direction of the wind, then the effect of wind is more. And as the revolution per minute of windmill toy increases, in the same way the swing of cricket ball also increases. Now, if we start walking in the direction of the wind with the toy in hand, then we see that its RPM will keep decreasing. As we increase our speed or start running, the revolution per minute of this toy will keep decreasing. This shows that if we walk in direction of the wind, then the effect of wind reduces, and the way the revolution per minute of the toy decreases, in the same way the swing of cricket ball also decreases. In this way, we can say that revolution per minute of windmill toy can be used as a swingometer, or you can say that the windmill toy can be used as a swingometer. Higher the revolution per minute of this toy, higher will be the swing, and lower the revolution per minute of the toy, lower will be the swing. The cricket ball will swing more when we bowled in direction in which revolution per minute of the windmill toy is more. Friends, now question arises, why cricketers believe that higher the speed, higher the swing? There are two reasons for this. The first reason is that during net practice, all bowlers bowl in the same direction on the net. In such a situation, the wind direction and wind conditions remain same for all the bowlers. In such a situation, the bowler whose speed is highest, his ball will swing the most, due to which the players get confused and start believing that higher the speed, higher the swing. The second reason for this is that during a match, when a bowler bowls his 6 balls from the same direction at different speeds, he found that the ball which was bowled at highest speed swung the most, because of which the bowler get confused and starts believing that higher the speed, higher the swing. So friends, that's it for this video. I hope you liked the information given in this video, and all the cricketers will take advantage of it, and in future they will not make such a mistake which Kapil Dev ji did. Thanks for company. Thanks for watching. Jai Hind.